Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Monday night stream. Tonight we are in RPR Rapid Picture Race. I'm your commentator, RL Cairo. And tonight we are in Japan for round 13. Wasn't here last week. I do believe that Lattice has won the championship at last week's race. So we will find out who will win the constructors. So there's still points to be given and up for grabs, still in the Drivers' Championship for everybody else. And then there is still points for the constructors as well. So it's pretty tight at the constructors at the moment. So we will see what the drivers can do tonight. The weather doesn't look too appetizing. It's a little bit grey, a little bit overcast, so could we potentially be in for some rain? We'll have to wait and see. We'll see what happens. Cam is the first driver out on track and will set the pace and the penultimate lap for the rest of grid. So we will stay off board with Cam. Does have a few drivers coming out of the pits, but will get going on his first lap, going into turn 1. Up through the S section, which, to be fair, I love doing the S section on this track. I do like Suzuka as well. So we will see how things go for the rest of this qualifying session. We will keep an eye on the lap times, see if anybody or any of the drivers can change anything, improve where they may look to be losing a little bit of time. And we'll also see if, hopefully as well, we'll see another good race. I was told that last week's race was a pretty decent race. So Cam sets the pace with a 1:28.5. I do believe it is Mickey G to come over the line next. To settle up Mickey G with a 1:27.6. Freddie Saints with a 1:28.5. Johnny Stokes as well, coming through the final sector. And it goes fastest with a 1:27.2. A-Res with a 1:29.2 as well. Casto's invalidated. Stewie's also invalidated. Lattice is also invalidated as well. Fuller is on his lap, so we'll stay off board with Fuller as the Ferrari of Casto, maybe. No, sorry, Ferrari of either Freddie or Mickey. Just getting out of the way of Fuller, because Fuller does come up through. Now, I will say this, I wonder if we will actually see anyone opt to try and make a move going through 130R, or would we potentially see any of the drivers going side by side through 130R as well. Fuller with a 129.1. Frenzy's just started their lap. Mrs. Cole is out on her out lap. Casto's on a lap. At the moment, so Casto's coming through. Stewie's on a lap as well after he did invalidate his first run. Cherry's just come out of the pits as well. Looks like Scotty's on his way out too. Stewie opts to jump in the pits. Lais has invalidated. On his second out lap. So let's have a look at Frenzy, see how Frenzy's doing. Up through 130R. Through the chicane. Gets power down, comes out. Up to P7 for Frenzy with a 137.9. GGC has just jumped in as well. Mrs. Carl also on their lap as well. So watch Mrs. Carl as she comes through both the sweeping right-handers up to the hairpin. Nice little exit there from Mrs. Carl. Coming through the final, through the second to last sector round the hairpin. Up through to 130R as well. Purple sector as well. And up to P7 with a 130.3. So nice lap there by Mr. Carr. I think she was running with ERS off, but I think she's on for another lap as well. Frenzy with a 129.2 and gets the fastest of the last sectors. So Mrs. Carl will be going again. Scotty's just on his lap as well. So we'll watch Scotty coming through. Last couple of goes. Oh! Scotty's out of the qualifying session. Just catches the curve a little bit there. For Scotty. Cherry up to P8 with a 129.7. Mrs. Carl is 9/10 up, I think. She's up a second and a half on her lap time. So Mrs. Carl, good exit out, gets a good exit out of the chicane round the last latter of the corners. Pops herself up to P4 with a 128.4. Great lap there by Mrs. Carl, Casto, Stewie, GGC and Lattice are all out on the right laps. There is that yellow flag, but that yellow flag has gone. So quite a few drivers at the moment still on their out laps. Comes on out. Fully probably going into the pits. Maybe not. Fuller's going to go for again. Mickey G up to P1 with a 127.2. So a nice lap there from Mickey G. So at the moment, currently Mickey G and Johnny are currently the only two drivers that are in the 127s. So we'll see if anybody. Fuller has spun round, but his luck is going to wait till he has clear track so he can spin back round. So there goes Fuller. So Johnny's on a lap as well. Mr. Cole's in the pits. Cam's on a lap. Stewie goes top with a 127.1, but then Lattice goes in with a 126.5. GGC overline with a 133.0, but GGC will go again. Remax and Casto will still be looking at coming out and getting hopefully a lap in. 4.5 minutes to go for the rest of the drivers. So bearing in mind there is still a lot of time to gain for everybody else. Zach, alright mate, thanks for joining in on stream. Hope you enjoy the race as well when it comes to it. Johnny Stakes up to P2 with a 126.9. Stewie's just a 4 second down but goes into the pits. Cherry's on an outlap. Max is on an outlap as well. GGC is 5 tenths up. On their time, so we'll see if what GGC does. GGC opts to go into the pits instead. So, who's going to give me, or even still, who's going to show me if they can pull out another exceptional lap time? Mrs. Carly's on an outlap. There's roughly 3 minutes to go. So there is still going to be time, really, for anybody to jump up. A-Rez is on an outlap. Cherry is on a lap. Let's watch Cherry, see what Cherry is doing at the moment. We've got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3, but it has now come back up to green flag. Cherry did get a faster purple sector 1. Let's see how his sector 2 goes. The yellow flag's up again. I think that's still to do with Scotty's crash. But we will see 6 temps up for Cherry. Cherry's got to get a good exit out of the chicane. Comes up over the line. Up to P9 for Cherry with a 128.6. Let's have a look, see how Mrs. Carl's getting on it. At the moment, she is pretty much comfortable in front. She is getting, or Mrs. Carl is going round without the ERS. Laius has retired in the pits. There's roughly 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. So will anyone try and get through to the latter stage of the final time to push? I don't think we are going to see anybody come through. We'll see, there's a few drivers that have, but we will. So Mrs. Carl's made it, does have an ERS switched on. Chubb has joined, so Chubb will be starting at the back of the grid. Casto's just made it as well, so we'll keep an eye on Casto as well, just to see how things go. Mrs. Carl has invalidated on that lap time. We'll see how Cam does as well. Cherry's in the pits. Ares is a little bit down at the moment. Frenzy just makes it over as well. And that is it. That's your qualifying session over, so any other driver that is on a lap will finish their laps now. Casto has GGC in front of him. I think GGC is also on a lap as well. Oh, but spins it there. Manages to catch it. As we are, Casto will come through to the lap. Stewie jumps up to P2 with a 126.7. Cam jumps up on his teammate up to P5 with a 128. Casto opts to not finish his lap time, so Casto jumps into the pits. Frenzy 8 temps up on his time at the moment, so we'll see how Frenzy can do on this lap time. Got to get a really good exit out of that chicane going towards the finish line. Frenzy over the line up to P6 with a 127.9, so he splits the Williams, both of the Williams drivers. Fuller goes P5, Frenzy P6, Cam in 7th. And that, I believe, is your qualifying session over. So then let's quickly run through short qualifying results. Lattice in P1 with a 126.5. Stewie in P2, Johnny in P3, Mickey GP4, Fuller P5, Frenzy P6, Cam P7, Mrs. Carl P8, Freddy P9, Cherry P10, Ares P11, Wimax P12, GGC P11, Scotty, Chubb, and cast out 14, 15, and 16th. So, I think we'll see what the weather's like. We'll have a look if there's going to be anything. I don't know if there's going to be anything changing towards the end, but we will see. So, yes, Zach, let's go. Let's have it. So, it's cloudy, it's overcast with a bit of sunshine and a bit of blue sky. So, could we potentially see a dry race all the way through? Or could there be anything changing going towards the end? We've got 27 laps, and we will see potentially anything that could happen in this race. So we could potentially see safety cars, virtual safety cars. I think we've only had, if I believe so, one red flag this season. I think that was back in Austria. So let's quickly get, don't need lap delta up, let's get tyres up for just for a second first. We'll see what tyre strategies are on drivers on. So Lattice is on a set of hard tyres. Stewie, Johnny, Mickey, Fuller, Frenzy are all on mediums. Cam is also on a set of hard tyres. Mrs. Carl, Freddy, Cherry, Ares are on mediums. Wumax is on hards. GGC is on mediums as well. Scotty and Chubb are on a set of soft tyres. And then Cast Out at the back of the grid, also on a set of hard tyres. So there's approximately only 4 drivers that are on the harder compound. The rest of the field are on the medium compound, and there's only 2 drivers that are on soft compound tyres. Now, for my prediction, I think top 5, depending on how it all goes. I'm going to probably say Stewie P1, Lattice P2, Johnny P3. I think the only other driver we've got to watch out for as well is Casto. So I'd say top 5 for Casto. But let's get underway. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights are out, and we are underway for round number 13. Lights gets a really good start there, beats Stewie to the first corner. Fuller's already made a position jump on Johnny. Johnny's down 3 positions already, so Johnny's lost 3 positions to Fuller, Mickey G and Frenzy. So a few places going there. Scotty's made a move already on GGC, so Scotty and Casto. Casto's already made moves up as well, so 3 positions for Casto. GGC dropping down at the back at the moment. Ares Cherry, Mrs. Carl, Freddie and Cam are still in the same position as Mrs. I thought Mrs. Carl was looking to see if she can make a move there on Cam. Scotty and Ares are battling it out at the moment. Ares looks like he got the better of that. Johnny and Frenzy are battling out, but Johnny's kept that position. Johnny's running a little bit wide there from Johnny. Johnny's only got 2 positions now to pick back up to try and get up to the top. We've got a change for the lead already. Lattice down to P2, Stewie up to P1. So could we potentially see... I think we will. We might end up seeing a battle between Stewie and Lattice at the moment. Fuller, a little bit of a snap there from Fuller, but does get it. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3, and Ares has potentially had some contact with a driver. Does lose his front wing. Wimax and GGC also battling it out at the bike. Freddie Saints looking to hunt down Mrs. Cole. Mrs. Cole's doing the same thing with Cam. Cam's doing the same thing as well, hunting down Frenzy. But do bear in mind there are a few drivers that are on different tyre strategies. So it all depends on what the drivers will want to see. Stewie's put a little bit of a gap to Lattice. We've got a little bit of contact at the back between Chubb, or has Chubb had an incident with somebody and lost it a little bit. Ares is back out of the pits. Fuller still up. Johnny Stokes is up another position, so Johnny only needs 1 more position to get up to the top 3, up to the 2 at the front. So we'll see if Johnny can get that done. Mickey G at the moment is slowly under attack by Frenzy, but everybody is sort of spreading out. DRS is now enabled. Stewie did Stewie get the fastest? Stewie set the fastest lap of the race at the moment. So it's still... pretty much everybody is still within touching distance of each other. There's roughly a 1.5 second gap to Cherry from the top 11. Oh, Casto, I think Casto ran a little bit wide there. Not sure if he was looking to make an overtake on Scotty, I think, or it was Freddie, not too sure, but nothing has hampered Casto. Casto is still going. Wimax also still going as well. So the top 6 are roughly still pulling away. So there is still that little bit of DRS train. 9 tenths between Lattice and Stewie. Lattice is still within DRS range. Fuller is also still within DRS range, even though it's 1.2 second gap. Johnny that little bit closer again to I think Cherry and Casto. are going through. I think Scotty let them through there. Cherry and Casto. Let's go back up to the top at the moment. Johnny is closing in on Fuller. Still looking to make a move. Mickey G's looking to make a move as well. Or maybe looking to get a position up on Johnny. Stewie's pulled that 1 second gap to Lattice. Well, just under a second to Lattice. So Mickey G, Johnny and Fuller are pretty much close together. Frenzy's also pretty close. Mrs. Carl as well, pretty close to Cam, so we could potentially see a change. Johnny Stokes gets a move done on Fuller, so Johnny up to P3 where he started. So now Johnny has got a lot of work to do to hunt down the top 2 up in front. Still plenty of laps to go. Mrs. Carl's made a move on Cam just before the chicane. Nice move there by Mrs. Carl. Freddie Saints is also looking to potentially get a move done. Cam's looking to try and get back at Mrs. Carl going into turn 1. But we'll still be looking for that move as well. So we'll keep an eye on that battle there. Casto at the moment up 6 places. So Casto's doing pretty much as I expected and was seeing that he'd move up from the back of the grid. So we'll see how that changes once it comes to the drivers doing their first round of pit stops. What we'll see at the moment, so it's still a little bit of a gap to Stewie, a 1.3 gap. Stewie's pulled out on Lattice as well. Johnny has got within the DRS range of Lattice 2. So it is picking up. Look, we've got Frenzy. Mickey G's looking to make a move. Potentially looking to make a move. Is he going to look for a 130R move? Not at the moment. Looking to go through the chicane. Doesn't opt to make the move yet through the chicane. So maybe a move into turn 1 for Mickey G on full air. DRS is open. Full air goes to the opposite side of the track to keep it defensive. Mickey G is looking to go round the outside, but Full Air manages to keep that position up P4 at the moment from Mickey G. Frenzy is also behind these two that are battling as well. There's still that battle between Cam, Mrs. Cole and Freddie as well. Casto will be approximately catching up to those 3 drivers as well, so that will be a fight to look out for as well. Mickey G is off on track. What happened to Mickey G there? So Mickey G down to P12. Was there a little bit of contact or a slight little mistake from Mickey G? So Mickey G will be fighting to get back up to approximately the top 5. Cam's looking to make a move on Mrs. Carl up to the 130R. Is it going to be side by side or is Cam going to get there first? Cam gets there just before the 130R. So nice move there from Cam on 130R. Freddie's looking to make a move or optimizing to make a move on Mrs. Carl as well, but Mrs. Carl will be looking to get a move done. Frenzy's got a move done on Full Air. Mrs. Carl comes back at Cam just before turn 1. Mrs. Carl back up to P6 in front of Cam. Full Air's made a move. Frenzy has made a move on Full Air. Mickey G's made a move on Cherry. So Mickey's looking to get back up to racing speed after maybe the little mistake that he's made. Casto's on the rear of Frenzy, on Freddie. Freddie's on the back of Cam. So we've got a four-way battle going off at the moment with Mrs. Cole, Cam and Freddie and Casto. So this is going to be a battle to look out for. We've got yellow flag in sector 1. I do believe that is Chubb. But Chubb is okay and still going. Johnny's caught up to Lattice and Stewie, so there's a 3-second gap now, pulling from the top 3 to Frenzy. Are we going to see Johnny make a move, or Optimize to make a move on Lattice going into turn 1? DRS is open, so now Lattice is going to have a position change. So Johnny up to P2. 3-second time penalty there for Mickey G. So Johnny Stokes up to P2. Lattice down to P3. Scotty and Mickey G still battling. Cherry and Woomax. Oh, Woomax. Nice save there by Woomax. Woomax was still looking to go down to the inside of Cherry there. But there was no contact there between both those drivers. A nice save there from Woomax to keep it going. Mrs. Cole runs a little bit deep, going through the right-handers. Casto is out. Casto is out. Casto is out of the race. Pretty unsure what happened there. Not really sure what happened with Casto there. But Casto is out of the race. This will bring out a virtual safety car. It will slow the drivers down a little bit, but not too much. So the drivers have got to keep at a minimal pace. See what happens. So Stewie opts to pit. So we have a new race leader of Johnny Stokes. Drive-through penalty for Mickey G for speed under the safety car. We are back under racing. Cam up to P3. Freddie's also up. Mrs. Cole is also up as well. Scotty's up to P6. So there's a few changes going off with drivers being into the pits. Lattice is still comfortably that little bit closer to Johnny, so we'll keep an eye on that battle as we continue on looking through. At the moment, Stewie is in the middle of Cherry and Scotty. So Stewie's opted for a set of hard tyres. Frenzy's also opted for a set as well. So has Full Air. But it looks like those hard tyres are pretty much warmed up and come to Stewie pretty quickly. So Stewie's up a position now, up to P6. Lattice is again that little bit closer to Johnny. So he's in with DRS range. It looks like Lattice is going to make a move on Johnny. So Lattice back up to P1. Johnny up to P2. Freddie still within DRS range of Mrs. Cole. But Stewie at the moment is pretty much going at the pace that he is required, that he wants to do. So Stewie's going to be looking to get back up to the top to Johnny and Lattice. So it's looking a little bit, oh, we've got a yellow flag in sector 1 again. And GGC has lost their wing. It brings out another virtual safety car. So this could potentially bring some of the drivers up, or bunch the drivers up just a little bit. But we'll see how it all plays out once we get underway again. So Johnny's options pit now. I think at the moment Scotty's doing pretty well on those softer compounded tyres. They don't seem to be falling off at the moment, so Scotty now pits and opts to do that. So Johnny has pitted, DRS is now enabled, we are back underway. So there's a little bit of a change round on the grid at the moment, so let's quickly run through it. So Lattice in P1, Cam in P2, Freddie P3, Stewie P4, Johnny P5, Cherry P6, Rumax P7, Frenzy P8, Full Air P9. Rounding out the top 10 is Mrs. Cole, and then we have Scotty in P11, Chubb in P12, Mickey G is in the pits, so is GGC, so they are P13, P14, and Ares is at the back. And the only driver we have lost is Casto. So there's still pretty much anything that could happen still going forward. Stewie at the moment is pretty much, oh, Mickey, Freddie, 3 second time penalty there for GGC, so Freddie gets a big snap of oversteer there, so that does allow Stewie and Johnny up to P4 and P5. Rumax and Frenzy are swapping places. Frenzy up to P7. So where are we looking at the moment? So pretty much everything is going the way it is. 5 second time penalty for Chubb for speeding in the pit lane. Johnny and Stewie are closing up to Cam. Lattice has got roughly a 12-second lead up at the front. So could we see Johnny and Stewie catch up with Lattice? 3 second time penalty for Lattice. So our leader has a 3 second time penalty at the moment. Stewie and Johnny are looking to catch up with Cam. Johnny sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:30.0. Just pinches it off Stewie by 4 tenths. So Stewie closing in on Cam. Freddie's in the pits. Mrs. Cole is up in position. So is Scotty. So Scotty up to P10. Mrs. Cole P9. Cam's got a charging Aston Martin and a Red Bull. Coming up, Johnny's followed Stewie through as well. So Johnny and Stewie up to P2 and P3 now. They have a 13-second gap in front of them up to Lattice, but we will potentially see Johnny and Stewie battling out going forward. So we'll see if anything does optimize to change. Let's put the lap time data up just to keep an eye on anything that does change with the fastest lap or anything like that. Yellow flag GGC is out, and we have our first safety car. This is now going to slow down the pack. Oh, that was close there from Johnny. Johnny nearly come close to colliding with the safety car. So, Stewie. Drive-through penalty for Stewie for speeding under the safety car. This is not what Stewie wants. Going into approximately 13 laps to go. So Stewie does pick up a drive-through penalty. So it's going to be, I think, I don't know if Stewie is not going to be able to take that drive-through penalty under the safety car. So Stewie is going to have to wait until that safety car does peel in. But we will see and find out. Johnny's in, Cam's in. Fuller's just coming through now. He pits as well. And what a pit stop strategy that was for Lattice. Lattice actually comes out in front, in the lead. So great pit stop there from Lattice. Stewie does jump Johnny. Cam gets out into P4 on a set of fresh tyres. So let's have a quick look at the tyres at the moment then. So Lattice on a fresh set of mediums, Stewie on a fresh set, Johnny on a fresh set, Cam on a fresh set, Frenzy's on a lap hold of mediums, Cherry on a set of hard tyres, Freddie on a set of hard tyres as well, 2 laps old, Fuller on a fresh set of mediums, Wheelmax on a lap old, Mrs. Carl on a lap old as well. Not sure over there, don't know if Wheelmax went off there. So there's a little bit of a change between Mrs. Cole and Wheelmax. Scotty on a fresh set of mediums, which is only a lap old. So is Mickey G. Chubb's also on a fresh set of 3 lap olds, and Arez is on a 2 lap old set of tyres. So this is going to slow down the pack, and it will bring the pack up towards, it'll bunch the pack up. So once the safety car does peel in, Lattice will be the lead safety car and will decide when it is the right time for him to go. So again, let's quickly run down through the grid. Lattice in P1, Stewie P2, Johnny P3, Cam P4, Frenzy P5, Cherry P6, Freddy P7, Full Air P8, Mrs. Cole P9. Rounding up the top 10 is Wimax, Scotty P11, Mickey G P12. Chubby's in the pits, getting rid of that 5-second penalty on a new set of softs, so we'll see how he does with those. Arez has caught up with everybody as well, so he's not a lap behind anymore. So we will wait for Arez and Chubb to catch up with the pack. Obviously they have to keep at a reasonable pace just so they can catch up, and we have lost GGC and Casto. So, at the moment, it seems to have been a pretty good race so far. So there's going to be 10 laps of full out racing, hopefully. Chubb's back in the pits again. I think he's put the wrong tyres on. I think. Oh no, they've put him on another set. So Chubb will get out and pick up the pace again, and then pick up the back of the pack, and then hopefully we will get down to the nitty-gritty and have some more racing going forward. So we'll see how things will turn out. So Chubb will pretty much pick up the pack just after the hairpin. You don't want it. I don't think he's wanting to take too much tyre life out of the soft tyres. So Chubb is now at the back of the pack. Hopefully safety car will be in this lap. Safety car is in this lap, so Lice is now the lead safety car. As soon as that safety car peels off into the pits, Lice will be the one to make the decision when he's ready to go. Safety car is in the pits, and away we go. And Stewie is in the pits to take his drive-through penalty. So Stewie's gonna have a lot of work to do to get up to the pack to see where he needs to be. So this does bring up Johnny and Cam. Back up to racing speed as we go. Johnny and Lice are looking to pull away going forward, but we'll see what happens. Cherry and Fuller, Freddie and Fuller are battling as well. Fuller is looking to make a move on Freddie. Looking to go up the inside. Freddie has to go wide, but still gets that move done. I think Womax there was defending pretty well, so Womax defends pretty well there from Mickey G. Mickey G was looking to make a move on Womax, but Womax again is going full ears again, looking to make a move. It looks like he's pushing Mickey G. Pushing Freddie. Are they going through 130R? It looks like they did, but I don't think anything happened there. Lattice gets the fastest lap of the race. Fuller's made a move. Frenzy's made a move on Cam into turn 1. So Frenzy up to P3. Cherry is under attack at the moment by Fuller. Fuller's just a little bit, jumping there just a little bit, but it isn't putting any other driver off at the moment. Fuller's looking to get a move done on Cherry. He's going for the move. Oh, I thought he was going to go for a move there then. On Cherry. It's still pretty much closed. Is he going to look up? Oh, a little bit of contact. That does allow Freddie back in. But Fuller still kept that position on Freddie. Mrs. Carl's looking to get herself in the mix with this battle as well that she can see up front. So is her teammate Womax. Mickey G. Oh, Mickey G. Mickey G just loses it. Coming out of the hairpin. Everything is good. Fuller's got the move done on Cherry. So Fuller up a position. DRS is now enabled. So it is now going down to the wire again. Womax, Mrs. Cole. Oh, Mrs. Cole was looking to make a move there on Freddie going into turn 1. She is still pretty much there within closing distance of Freddie. A teammate Womax is in there. Scotty's also getting involved as well. Good to see Scotty getting involved. Little bit, I thought there was going to be a little bit of a switcheroo then between both the Haas drivers. Great camera view seeing this. Scotty's on the back of Womax. I think Scotty is pretty much going to wait. Mrs. Cole again looking to go around the outside of Freddie. Freddie kindly closes the door there on Mrs. Cole. Well, there is still time for anything that can happen. Scotty's on the rear of Womax. Mrs. Cole is on the rear of Freddie as well. Going into 130R. Scotty still hot on the heels of Womax. Everybody now is going to get DRS. Going down. Cherry's got it. Mrs. Cole's looking to make a move on Freddie. Freddie's got the DRS as well, but is pretty much keeping that position from Mrs. Cole. So nice defending there from Freddie. But Mrs. Cole still wants that position from Freddie. At the moment, there's only 3 drivers with penalties. Lattice has got to try and pull something out with the remaining 6 laps of this race. Obviously, Lattice did clinch the championship last week in last week's race, so every point counts from tonight's race and next week's race, which is the last race of the season next week. So every point that is left now pretty much is up for grabs. Like I said at the start, it is going to be pretty much it's pretty much close in the Constructors' Championship between the drivers. Mickey G's had a little bit of a spin again up at the top in Sector 2, but he's got himself going again. Johnny is now in the lead of the race. So Johnny up to P1, Lattice P2, Frenzy P3 is pulled away from Cam. Cam's got his teammate closing up on him as well. Cherry at the moment is still keeping that P6 position from Freddie. But we've still got the battle from Cherry down to Scotty. Oh, contact! Little bit of contact there. Max down a position to P11. Scotty's got a position up on Chubb. Mickey G has been disqualified from the race for being parked in the wrong direction, I think, or for driving the wrong way. So we do lose another driver there going through. Lattice is a little bit closer to Johnny again. He's going to make a move. Frenzy is closing in on the top 2. That gap's coming down just a little bit. Goes down, keeps going up, goes down, keeps going up. Freddie's got a move done on Cherry. So Freddie up to P6. Cherry is still going to be looking to battle and get the move done. Mrs. Carl's pretty much closing up as well. So Mrs. Carl's looking to get in the mix. Scotty's also looking to get in the mix as well. Chubb might be looking to get into the mix as well. Going forward, Scotty's ran a little bit wide going up at the top of the hill. So that does bring Chubb back into the mix. So it does give a little breathing space to Cherry, Freddie and Mrs. Carl. But these two are still battling. Both the Williams drivers are P4 and P5. Freddie picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. So again, it is still up for grabs on the points that the drivers need as well. Fuller is a little bit closer to his teammate. So we'll see if there's going to be... I don't think there's going to be any switcheroos round. Johnny and Lattice are still going. Fuller and Cam have changed round. So Fuller up to P4, Cam into P5. Freddie and Cherry battling out. Freddie just runs out a little bit deep, but does get back on track. This now allows Mrs. Carl to get a chance up on Cherry. Cherry's 10 lap old on those mediums, on those hard tyres, sorry. Freddie is 11 laps on those tyres as well. So again, this battle going off is pretty close. Scott is behind Chubb as well. Freddie A little bit closer again to Mrs. Cole. But Mrs. Cole looks to have got a better exit out of that hairpin. So she's still on the hunt for another position on Cherry. We'll see if anything like that does change. But if the Williams drivers at the moment are pretty comfortable where they are, 3 second gap now. Frenzy to Johnny and Lattice. Lattice is looking to try and maybe pull away a little bit. But we'll see, there's approximately 2 laps to go. Or 3 laps including this one. Mrs. Cole's got the move done on Cherry. So Mrs. Cole up to P6. So now will Mrs. Cole look to try and pull away just a little bit more on those medium compound tyres on Cherry. Freddie is pretty much still again all over the back of Cherry. This is going to bring Chubb and Scotty in as well, I think. But we will see how this goes at the moment. Freddie again that little bit closer, it is pulling in Chubb and Scotty as well. Little bit of contact. Scotty does get a move done on Chubb, so Scotty up to P9. Freddie again is looking to try and get a move done on Cherry. Mrs. Cole's pulled a little bit of a gap to Cherry. So I think maybe Cherry just gets in. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. Cherry just is still within DRS of Mrs. Cole, I think. Oh, we've got, was there? No. So nothing sort of happened there. Cherry still got DRS. Freddie's also got DRS as well. Scotty doesn't get the DRS, but does keep that position away from Chubb, Arez and Wumax. Wumax is in the pits. We are getting towards the end of the race. Predictions are kind of working, but apart from top 3, Casto was out. Chubb's made a move on Freddie. Oh, what's happened to Freddie? Freddie make a little bit of a mistake there. So that now allows Cherry with a bit of free air. But does have Scotty going. Chubb running a little bit wide. There, Scotty's got, by the looks of it, Scotty's got a little bit more pace in that Alfa Romeo. I think Scotty's going to wait till he gets down to the start and finish. We are pretty much on the last lap. Scotty's making a move on Cherry. Cherry slips into the slipstream of Scotty. Cam and Full Air are pretty much close together as well. Lattice has got a little bit of a gap to Johnny. Frenzy is 5.1 seconds, but can't take anything away from Frenzy. Deserves that podium. But as we get towards the end of the race, are we going to see anybody make a changeover? Scotty's closing in on Mrs. Cole. Stewie sets the fastest lap of the race. So we are coming through. Latius does take the win, but does have that penalty. So Johnny in P1, Latius P2, Frenzy in P3, and we have Williams in P4 and P5, Mrs. Carl up to P6, Scotty P7, Cherry P8, Chubb P9. Freddie rounds out the top 10 in P10. Arez will come over the line in P11. Max will come over the line in P12. I do feel sorry for Stewie. He did pick up a drive-through penalty, and I probably do seem that he wasn't going that quick to get that drive-through penalty under the safety car. But Stewie will come over the line in P13, and what a race that was. Close race by a lot of different battles up and down the grid. Scotty gets the driver of the day. So there is your race winner. So here we go then. So final results of round 13 at Japan. Johnny in P1, Latius P2, Frenzy P3, Fuller P4, P5 for Cam, Mrs. Carl P6, Scotty P7, Cherry P8, Chubb P9, and Freddie brings out the top 10 in 10th place. Arez 11th, Max 12th, Stewie 13th, Casto at GGC in... No, wait, so we did lose, sorry. GGC, Casto, and Mickey G. But what a race that was for RPR tonight. So just bear with me for a few moments. I'm just going to go over and jump into the other party to go and talk to the other guys and see what they thought about their race tonight. So just bear with us a second. So we are back in the party chat. We will see if anybody does decide to join. I wonder if Frenzy will join. Johnny's already left. So we'll go from there. If that doesn't happen for podiums tonight, then we will go into next week's race. So we've got Latius that has joined in. We'll get towards Latius at the moment, but other than that, what a race we saw tonight. From my point of view, as always, it was a great race. Got to see a lot of battles. We had a safety car and a couple of ESCs. But other than that, it was pretty much a good race. So let's go to podium P2 winner Jack, and let's find out from the championship winner how he felt about his race tonight. So Jack, go through with me on obviously what your strategy was, how you thought the race went, and I will say this, it did seem a little bit unlucky to get yourself a 3-second time penalty halfway through, but other than that, let's hear what you thought about, obviously, the race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I decided to start on the hards at the beginning. It's normally a strategy that I like doing around Japan, starting on a harder compound tyre. I could have done medium to soft because I saved a set of fresh softs from quali. But went with the hards. Uh, it would have made that first stint entertaining as well, trying to fight off the medium runners. I was going to pit under that second virtual safety car actually for mediums and go along the full way. But it's a good job I didn't because of that safety car that came out on my pit lap anyway. So yeah, that was good. Probably could have gone softs actually, and you'd have been able to have got to the end. A fresh set of softs could have done like 11 laps or so. So I could have gone softs in hindsight, but the mediums worked just as well. The penalty was unlucky. Well, not really. Pushed too hard. I pushed too hard in Degner 1 a couple of times. I think I just maybe held the brake probably too long instead of just dabbing it, and it's just washed the front out. And then I've come to the Casio Triangle, the first part, turn 16, and I've just got a bit too much rotation. It's just taken me over the curb. So
Yeah.
a little bit unlucky with that final penalty, I guess, to get the 3 seconds. But yeah, it is what it is. It was a great race. I'm happy for Johnny, and it was a good podium from Frenzy.
Yeah.
And Stu was unlucky with the drive-through because it wasn't actually. We didn't have any information at the top of the screen unless you paused it and unpaused it. When that safety car came out, we didn't have any information at the top, so we couldn't see how long we'd been over the delta by or
because
anything
I
really.
think that
I
usually
couldn't see
happens.
the speedometer going into the pit. So I've never seen it happen before. So it's good that it's only happened this one time for me, right at the end of the season. But yeah, it's unfortunate on Stewie's part.
Yeah, really unfortunate on Stewie's part. I do, like I say, it's sort of, like I say, there has been battles up and down. Obviously, both Williams in P4 and P5 as well. Cherry and Scotty also up there as well, Mrs. Carl as well. But other than that, the race was fantastic. Like I say, you got to see battles up and down. So what I'm going to do now, I don't know if Cam's still here, but if there's anyone else that wants to add anything and to let us know about the race, the floor's open.
Just congrats on them three at the front. They were like absolute rocket ships. like I couldn't do out. But yeah, just congrats on them three.
Yeah, like I say, great points for you and Fuller.
Yeah.
In the constructors as well. So I think it's still sort of pretty close.
I think it's between us and Red Bull. Shame Johnny won. Great driver, but that we really didn't need that. We really didn't need that going into the last race. So I think he got like 3 points on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's going to be very tight going into this last race.
Massively.
Yeah, massively, definitely is. So, other than that, then, obviously, great race, and from the drivers myself, congratulations to Johnny on getting his podium. Congratulations to Lattice as well. But join me next week for the last race of the season at Brazil. Hopefully, or it will be a good race again, like we always see in RPR. But until next time, thanks for the people joining in, listening. Thanks for comments that have came in as well. But until next time, guys, this has been Rapid Pixel Racing. I've been your commentator, RL Cairo, and I will see you next week for the last race of the season. Good night.